Hi, this is Brandon, owner of StudyLamp Software and programmer for SwordSearcher Bible software. In this video, I'm going to show you a little of what's new in SwordSearcher 7. As you can see, SwordSearcher 7 has the same fundamental layout as SwordSearcher 5 and 6, so you won't have to learn a new interface if you're upgrading. And of course, you can still customize the layout, but there is a significant improvement here. This is the main toolbar from the old version, SwordSearcher 6, with separate go-to-verse and quick Bible search boxes. These work great, but SwordSearcher 7 is better. Here's SwordSearcher 7 again. The separate boxes have been merged into one. This single text box can accept verse references and Bible searches, and a bit more. Just type and press enter. As I'm typing, some suggestions appear. We'll look at those in a second. I've typed John 1:1 in the box. SwordSearcher knows this is a verse reference, so it sets the Bible panel to the verse and performs my go-to-verse actions. Now I'll do a quick Bible search for the word Scripture. Anytime you enter something that isn't a verse reference, the search box treats it as a Bible search. So you see, this is a single starting point for a verse study or a Bible search, but that's just the beginning. The search box is also more powerful. As I type, SwordSearcher shows me a list that is updated as I add letters. This shows me how many verses my search will return. I could select this to open a topic guide instead of a Bible search. And below are several search suggestions. This one gives me a quick way to see all of the verses with the various forms of the word I've typed. And other words I might be looking for, including verse counts. Here I'm using the King James and I type color, C-O-L-O-R. That's actually a mistake because the King James uses the British spelling with a U. I could enter this search and SwordSearcher would suggest the spelling correction automatically, but I can see below the correct spelling. The search suggestions can be very interesting in their own right and might inspire a new study altogether. You might be surprised at how good SwordSearcher is at figuring out what phrase you're looking for. You can use the arrow keys to select items as well as the mouse. Here are a few more tips on using the go-to-verse and search box. For those of you who don't always use the mouse, you can set the keyboard focus to the box by pressing F6, or if your keyboard lacks F keys, you can use Alt-G. Now let's say I'm reading this chapter here, and I want to go quickly to a specific verse in the chapter without scrolling. I can just type the verse number in the box. Now if I want to jump to a specific chapter in the book I'm reading, I can type the chapter number and a period. You can do more than go to a verse or a Bible search. The list also lets you open a verse guide for the verse, find related verses, and open the word cloud generator, which I'll show you in a second. If you enter multiple verse references, you can open them in a verse list panel. You can also open library modules from here. Let's move on. This is a shortcut to the Bible Word Cloud Generator. A Bible Word Cloud is a visual way of exploring any portion of Scripture. This one opens set to John 3 because that's the chapter I was reading, but it can be set to any passage. You can type in a passage and there are many preset ranges. A word cloud is a great way to see the relative emphasis on words in a given passage. You can hold the mouse pointer over a word for more information and click it to see all of the verses with the word in the range. The Bible Word Cloud Generator can be customized in many ways. I won't go into detail in this video, but I hope you're already getting a sense of how this can be useful in discovering related subjects. You might remember that there is a Word Clouds book module in the library, but this is different because it's interactive and configurable. You can also explore Bible word clouds based on search results. This is a fascinating way to see other words often associated with what you've searched for. Here I've done a search for the word salvation. Look at the other words that pop out. All of these words also appear with the word salvation, the bigger ones more often. Just makes me want to do more searches. God's people ought to rejoice in the rock of their salvation, who is the Lord. I'll touch on a few more new features. I'll be making more detailed videos on these later, but I want to give you a summary here. If you're already a SwordSearcher user, you're familiar with the SwordSearcher Bible margin area and also library tabs. As before, you can choose which library modules are included in the Bible margin or have visible tabs in Preferences and Settings. These configuration windows are easier to use now. You can quickly locate items with text filtering or change how they are sorted. New to SwordSearcher 7 are module sets. This is the module set editor. You may have used reference sets in previous versions. This replaces reference sets and is far more versatile. Think of module sets as groups of books in your SwordSearcher library. You can create as many module sets as you want and include as many or as few modules in a set as you need. Module sets can be used to control your visible tabs or Bible margin links. You can see here I've set up some module sets of my own already. I like to have a set for my favorite tabs and another for my favorite margin links, but you can use any combination of these or call them whatever you want. You could even have one module set control both. I should mention you don't have to use module sets to control these, but it can be very useful in streamlining your study flow. Module sets can also be used to limit a full library search so that it only looks through the items you're interested in. When you're using a module set to control tabs, clicking the Tabs toolbar icon takes you right to your Tabs module set where you can edit the set or change to a different one. Likewise, you can go right to the module set controlling your margin lengths from here. A quick way to edit which sets a module appears in is to right-click its tab and select the Module Sets item from the pop-up menu. Something else that's new is the option to set your own Bible book name abbreviations. Some users have asked to be able to do this because they have been using different abbreviations for years, and this gives them the ability to truly personalize SwordSearcher. You can see here that I changed the abbreviation for John. Those are the features I wanted to show you, and there are more which you can read about on the website. New releases of SwordSearcher come with new library content. As always, SwordSearcher's deluxe library is unified. That means you don't have to pay $10 or $20 here and there for every book that's added. It's all part of the package and you get all these when you upgrade. There are 4 new modules in the library for 7.0. The McClintock and Strong Cyclopedia, a massive reference work with over 49,000 entries on all kinds of topics, people, and places. The Park Street and Metropolitan Tabernacle Pulpit, over 3,500 sermons from C.H. Spurgeon. This is the complete 63-volume set that was published over a span of 62 years. Richard Watson's Biblical and Theological Dictionary, and John Trapp's 5-volume commentary on the Old and New Testaments. There are more new features and improvements throughout SwordSearcher 7, but these are the highlights. Be sure to visit the upgrade page of the website for the complete revision history. Thanks for taking time to watch this video.